My twin sister stole my identity and ruined my life. Chapter 1. Beginning of the end. My name is Sarah Lawson, and my life used to be perfect. I had a loving family, great friends, and a promising future. But everything changed the day my twin sister, Jessica, decided to steal my identity. Jessica and I had always been close, sharing everything from our clothes to our deepest secret. Growing up, people often mistook us for each other, and we played along, enjoying the mischief. But as we got older, our paths diverged. I focused on my studies, aiming for a scholarship to a prestigious university, while Jessica seemed more interested in partying and living in the moment. It all started on a crisp autumn morning. I was sitting in my favorite coffee shop, reviewing notes for an upcoming exam when my phone buzzed. It was a message from Jessica. "Hey, can we talk? I need your help with something important." Curious and slightly worried, I agreed to meet her later that evening. Little did I know, that conversation would mark the beginning of the end of my once perfect life. Chapter 2. The Favor. Jessica arrived at our meeting spot, a small park near our childhood home, looking anxious. She paced back and forth, biting her nails, a habit she had never quite outgrown. "What's going on, Jess?" I asked, concerned. She looked at me with pleading eyes. "Sarah, I need a huge favor. I messed up big time." My heart sank. Jessica had a knack for getting into trouble, but this felt different. "What happened?" She took a deep breath and explained that she had fallen behind on rent and bills. Her job wasn't paying enough, and she had borrowed money from some shady characters to keep herself afloat. Now, they were demanding repayment, and she had no way to come up with the cash. "I just need you to lend me some money, Sarah. Just for a little while, until I can get back on my feet," she begged. I hesitated. I had some savings, but it was meant for my college expenses. Yet, seeing the desperation in her eyes, I couldn't say no. "Okay, Jess, I'll help you out, but you have to promise me you'll get your act together." She nodded vigorously, relief washing over her face. "Thank you, Sarah. I promise I'll pay you back." Chapter 3. The Switch. Few weeks passed, and life went back to normal. Or so I thought. One evening, I received an unexpected call from my bank. They informed me of several large withdrawals from my account that I hadn't authorized. Panic set in as I realized someone had accessed my savings. I immediately called Jessica. Her phone went straight to voicemail. I rushed to her apartment, hoping to find her and get some answers. When I arrived, the place was empty. No signs of a struggle, just a hastily abandoned apartment. My heart pounded as I searched for any clues about her whereabouts. That's when I found a small note tucked under her pillow. "Sarah, I'm sorry. I had no other choice. Please forgive me." Jess. I felt a mix of anger, betrayal, and fear. What had she done? Chapter 4. The Revelation. The next day, I went to the police to report the unauthorized withdrawals and my sister's disappearance. As I explained the situation, the officer looked at me with a mix of sympathy and suspicion. "Miss Lawson, are you aware that someone has been using your identity for the past few weeks?" he asked. I was stunned. "What do you mean?" He handed me a stack of documents, including bank statements, credit card bills, and even a lease agreement, all under my name, but with Jessica's signature. "It appears your sister has been posing as you. We've also discovered that she applied for several loans in your name." The room spun as the reality of the situation hit me. Jessica had stolen my identity, leaving me to deal with the aftermath of her actions. My perfect life was crumbling before my eyes. Chapter 5. Picking up the pieces. Determined to reclaim my life, I spent the next few weeks untangling the mess Jessica had created. I contacted banks, credit agencies, and loan companies, explaining the situation and providing evidence of the fraud. It was an exhausting process, but I couldn't give up. My parents were devastated when they found out. They couldn't understand how Jessica, their sweet daughter, could do something so terrible. My father, always the stoic one, broke down in tears, while my mother tried to hold the family together. Amidst the chaos, I missed an important scholarship deadline. The opportunity I had worked so hard for slipped through my fingers, and I felt a deep sense of loss and frustration. I couldn't dwell on it. I had to keep moving forward. Chapter 6. Confrontation. Months passed, and I still hadn't heard from Jessica. My life was slowly getting back on track, but the pain of her betrayal lingered. One evening, as I was returning home from work, I saw her standing on my doorstep, looking disheveled and remorseful. "Sarah, please, can we talk?" she pleaded. I hesitated, my emotions a whirlwind of anger and sadness. "What do you want, Jess? I know I messed up. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I need to explain," she said, her voice trembling. We sat in the living room, tension thick in the air. Jessica explained that she had gotten involved with a dangerous crowd. They had coerced her into stealing my identity to pay off her debts. She claimed she never meant to hurt me, but she saw no other way out. "I'm sorry, Sarah. I was scared and desperate," she said, tears streaming down her face. I wanted to believe her, but the damage was done. "Jess, you ruined my life. Do you have any idea what I've been through?" She nodded, guilt etched across her face. "I know, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make it right." Chapter 7. A Long Road to Forgiveness. Rebuilding my life wasn't easy, but I was determined. Jessica moved back in with our parents and started attending attending therapy. I agreed to meet with her regularly, but trust was hard to rebuild. We went to counseling sessions together. Working through the pain and betrayal was a slow process, filled with setbacks and breakthroughs. My parents supported us, hoping we could mend our fractured relationship. Despite everything, a part of me still loved my sister. We had shared so much of our lives, and I wanted to believe she could change, but I also knew I had to protect myself from further harm. Chapter 8. Reclaiming my future. With time, I managed to repair my credit and regain some stability. I found a new job and started saving money again. The dream of attending a prestigious university still lingered, but I knew it would take longer to achieve. Jessica, on the other hand, worked hard to rebuild her life. She found a job and stayed away from the people who had led her astray. Our relationship was still strained, but we were making progress. One evening, Jessica surprised me with a gift scrapbook filled with memories from our childhood. "I made this for you," she said, handing it to me. "I want us to remember the good times and start fresh." I flipped through the pages, tears welling up in my eyes. Despite everything, we had shared so many happy moments. It was a reminder that our bond was worth fighting for. Chapter 9. Moving forward. As the years passed, Jessica and I continued to rebuild our relationship. It wasn't easy, but we were both committed to healing. Our parents were relieved to see us working together, and their support meant the world to us. I eventually managed to save enough money to attend a local university. It wasn't the prestigious institution I had dreamed of, but it was a start. I pursued a degree in social work, inspired by my own experiences and the desire to help others facing similar challenges. Jessica also found her calling, working with at-risk youth and sharing her story to help others avoid the same mistakes. Our paths had diverged, but we were both determined to make a positive impact on the world. Chapter 10. A new beginning. Looking back, I realized that my sister's betrayal had forced me to confront my own strengths and weaknesses. It had tested our family's resilience and ultimately brought us closer together. Life wasn't perfect, but it was real. We had faced our darkest moments and come out stronger on the other side. Jessica and I would always carry the scars of our past. We had learned to forgive and move forward. As I stood on the stage, receiving my diploma, I saw Jessica in the audience, cheering me on. Our journey had been long and painful, but we had made it through together. And in that moment, I knew that no matter what the future held, we would always have each other. Chapter 11. Reflections on the past. The day after my graduation, I found myself sitting by the lake near our childhood home. The water was calm, reflecting the clear blue sky above. I thought about everything that had happened, highs and the lows, and how much I had grown. Jessica joined me, carrying a blanket and a picnic basket. "Mind if I join you?" she asked. "Course not," I replied, smiling. We sat in comfortable silence for a while, enjoying the tranquility. Finally, Jessica spoke. "I'm so proud.